They about Tiger's longevity might be might have been more truth than fiction, huh?
What were you saying? Sorry.
Jason, we need to console him because Tiger's out again.
Ricky's busy reading about glutes. He had never heard the word until yesterday.
Hey, I'm sorry that my glutes would not activate. I mean, I am sitting, so what an excuse. I mean, come on. Like, I get it, he's hurt, but I will say...
That means his butt wasn't working. What
I will say, when I saw Billy Horschel pick up a tee after Tiger hit a drive, I was like, okay, there's something wrong. Tiger's hurt.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. I don't want to spend the entire half an hour talking about Tiger and how bad I feel for him and how I'm curious what the heck's going on. We've got a lot of questions to ask our guest of honor today, which we're going to get to that. I'm still going to give him a few minutes as I introduce you guys because it's like 5:30 in the morning where he is. So we're going to get to him. We got Les Bailey from Pro Golf Now. We have Jason Boswell from Shop Junior Golf. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Well, we're trying to stay warm up here in the mountains.
Jason, you know how it's going. I'm not in the best of moods right now and will not be until April. Do you think he plays again before April?
He's got to.
I mean, yeah, because he can't show up to Augusta, be hurt, and then bail from that. I mean, they'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah,
Ricky,
I think...
I know it pains you, but I think Tiger has hurt himself out of the golfing game, competitive golfing game. How is that?
And he's not qualified anymore for the WGC Cadillac. He's out of the top 50.
And he's not going to play for fun. The guy's playing to win majors. Anyway, we're done. We could have a whole half an hour talking about it. We could probably talk about Tiger for about 4 hours. But our guest of honor, who is calling all the way from Australia, which is literally the other side of the planet, has got a picture of Tiger hanging behind him. So there will be a few questions sprinkled in throughout the day about Tiger. And, well, my first question will probably be about Tiger. But today we've got Liam Warburton with us from Complete Player Golf. And Tiger, well, he's not a complete player, but Liam, welcome to the Friday Foursome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So, you know, I could talk about what you do. You got a lot of stuff going on, and the things that you do are really interesting. And I'm pumped for somebody. Les sent me his questions. He's got some good questions. Jason's got a bunch of really good questions revolving around junior golf, which you can expect from Jason. But take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us what you do, and what the heck Complete Player Golf is all about.
Sure. Well, as you can probably tell from my accent, I'm Australian, and I'm a mental game coach and director of instruction at Complete Play Golf. My background is in sports psychology, and my coaching style has evolved from my studies and experience in the game. And at a young age, I invested a lot of time with a swing coach and lessons, and I got improvement, but I didn't really start making good progress until I started incorporating other parts of the game, like becoming more flexible and improving my mental approach. And this is how the idea of Complete Player Golf evolved.
That's awesome. Well, I just said that Tiger is not a complete player. I mean, right now he's got a lot of things going on. So let's just start there because he's been the hot topic of conversation for the last couple of days. In your opinion, where you sit and what you see, what is wrong with Tiger Woods?
Well, Tiger is a champion of the game. But he's getting a little bit older, and he's trying to manage the next phase in his life. And his body's not as young as it used to be. But at the moment, I think all golfers play their best golf at the place and time where they feel the most comfortable. And he's just not comfortable with his swing. Doesn't seem comfortable with tournament play at the moment. But I really do think he'll settle down soon. And it shouldn't be too long before a bit of time to get healthy and fit again. And as long as he stays motivated, I really think he can come back.
So you had talked about being a sports, mental coach. Are there any other sports outside of golf that you currently coach, or is golf your main focus or your only focus?
Golf is the focus, and my true passion.
Do you play any other sports? Because I only play golf.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm a golfer.
Just not enough time to go through books or...
Takes up too much time to play any other sports.
Les, I bet you play other sports.
No, I pretty much play golf. I drink a few beers if that's a sport.
That, if that's a sport, then I should join that league, whatever
Yeah.
that league might be.
Yeah,
We follow other sports. How's that?
yeah.
Yes, I don't even do that. I don't even do that. Like, the Super Bowl was here, and I couldn't even tell you. Like, I was like, well, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So
It was a great game.
yeah, you said that. I asked a poll on Google Plus about the commercials, and you were like, it was a great game. And I was like, is that what they play between the commercials? Because I don't know anything about the game.
Commercial stunk.
Yes, they did. They were horrible. But anyway, Les, first question.
Yes. How do you assess a player's entry point into your program?
Sure. So, Complete Play Golf, we're an online golf academy, and we specialize in helping golfers play their best golf by having a complete approach to the game. You notice that on tour that coaches are a big part of players' lives. So they have a physiotherapist, a sports psychologist, nutritionist, and their caddy. But we really try to help golfers have a complete play approach by working with other experts of the game to make it more accessible for everyday golfers. So we basically have 5 essential elements of the game, and that's what defines a complete player. So we have the physical, technical, mental, strategic, and technological. So these are the 5 elements of the game, and they're all connected to each other like a links of chain. And so basically the strength of this chain will determine how well a player can play and the kind of scores that they're capable of shooting. So basically that's how we assess a player and then determine their weaknesses.
So out of all of those links, out of all of the golfers you've worked with, is there any one that is typically broken more than another from the day that you start working with them? Do you see a trend?
Yeah, definitely. Well, from our experience, we found that golfers predominantly focus on 1 or 2 aspects of the game while neglecting the other few. So if we had to put it in computer terminology, we would say that players need to start working on their hardware and stop chasing the latest software. So these things are like the fundamentals of the game. And so we conducted some research, over the last few years, and we found some interesting results. And we found that players, the weakest elements of the game are the physical, strategic, and mental. And out of an interesting study, we found that 91% of golfers rated that the mental game is very important, but only 6% of these golfers actually said they made time to actually work on their mental game. And this is what led us to design our mental game program, Think Well, Play Great.
That's a great transition talking about the mental game into Jason's next question.
So mine, from the junior golf point of view, kids often throw tantrums, and I kind of, in the writing of my question, put in parentheses, parents also do as well.
I was going to say, because I've thrown a tantrum or 2 in the past.
When you see kids out on the golf course throwing tantrums, or for that matter, their parents, what are some of the steps that you recommend to correct this type of behavior?
Well, I think golf should be fun. I think perhaps there's a little bit too much focus on the outcome and the score that a golfer achieves, but those are things we can't control. We can only control and influence our scores through our processes. So I think, a shift in focus from our score to the enjoyable aspects of the game. Just actually having fun by trying to enjoy the aspects of the day, being out in the fresh air, being on the course, and just relaxing. I think just not being so serious about it will put players and parents in a better emotional environment, and that will allow them to execute better.
I'm playing True North tomorrow, and they have at the Dynamite Grill, which is the restaurant at True North, these Kobe beef sliders, and I pretty much could care less how I play because all I want to focus on is the sliders after my round. So golf is fun and food is delicious. So,
Ricky, you were probably one of those kids laying on the green, kicking and screaming that you didn't make the putt too. So
I'm a good putter, and to the point of that putt was good. He didn't need to hit that putt. That's good where I come from. So you talked about tour players a little bit, and we're going to talk more about tour players throughout the day. But Nick Cullen, tell me more about him, your relationship with him, and what his involvement in your day-to-day operations are.
So Nick Cullen and I, we're the co-creators of Think Well Play Great, and he's a tour player. He's an Adelaide-born boy, and he currently plays on Australian, Australasian, and Asian tours. And he's actually had some recent success in he won the Australian Masters. So his game is really building, and he's getting things together. And yeah, so we collaborated on Think Well Play Great. I brought my technical knowledge from my sports psychology background, and he brought the experience of actually a tour pro. And yeah, it's really based on the mental traits of tour winners. And so yeah, together we were a good balance.
Well, that's awesome, and I knew that he had won that tournament, and I didn't put two and two together. That I knew it was the same guy, but like that's just so cool that you and that he was the one that was the founder. I didn't know that either. So
yeah, that's great.
After today, we need to figure out a time to get him on a Friday Foursome as well, to have him talk about what it's not only about complete player golf, but just about what it's like to be life on tour and the areas that he's playing in. So we'll talk about that offline. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That sounds great. Yeah, he really does have like a complete approach. He has a really strong mental game and really hard worker. But works on all the other aspects of physical, technical. So yeah, obviously, it's a good combination.
That is awesome. Well, Les, you've got a question about getting a copy of this.
Well, I was going to take a little detour there because
okay. Detour away.
Liam used the word process, and we hear the word process all the time coming out of Tiger Woods. And I just wonder if golfers aren't spending too much time in the process, which is in their head, and not just playing golf. I mean, what is your opinion?
Sure. Well, all golfers actually execute better once they can operate from the athletic side of the brain. So in the beginning, when you're learning a new swing, you're making swing changes, we're all very mechanical and technical. And it takes actually a bit of time to translate and build the motor patterns and the repetitions to be able to execute your swing without conscious thought. So the idea is to get to this point and state of time where you can actually execute and swing without actually focusing on your swing, and you can be more focused on your target. And that's the problem with Tiger at the moment. He's very mechanical. He's implementing a new swing, and that causes swing interference. And no golfer plays their best in that state of mind.
Well, I just thought he's spending so much time in his head that he's not playing golf. And
exactly. Yeah, he's lost the feel in his game. And I think he's one of these obsessive compulsive guys who just loves to strive for perfection, and he's always changing things. But once he settles down and if his body remains healthy, I think he'll get back to where he was. He just needs that bit of time. He hasn't played enough tournament play yet.
So who's going to be the person to step in and tell him that, though? Like, you've got to think that somebody's behind the scenes that's like on his way home, that's sitting on the plane with him saying, Tiger, figure it out. Like, you play 11 holes and you leave. Like, I mean, I get it if you're injured. That's a difference. But
it's just
a middle coach or somebody in his ear that's telling him to shut up and make more birdies. It seems that simple. I mean, if I was a tour player that had the greatest short game in the history of ever, you'd think he would just be able to. I mean, I get it that it happens, but
that's the danger, paralysis by analysis. And when you get too technical, you really lose that instinct and that feel that he's really relied on to become so successful. So, hopefully he figures it out, because he's the champion of the game, and and he's been through these things before.
Yeah. So we're going to go to greenskeeper.org, the sponsor of the Friday Foursome. We got a couple of questions for those members. Ringworld, and I'm pretty sure we need to invite Ringworld to join us for like a Friday Fivesome, because this guy asks a question every week. I love this. I don't even know who he is. Like, I don't want to. I kind of want him to stay like elusive, but he wants to know, what do you do for your students who are grinding through a rough spot in their game? They have the Yips, which is a horrible word choice, Ringworld, because Tiger has, well, kind of the Yips after his display in Phoenix. They have the Yips, the Yups, the Bins, and the Bins is from scuba diving, but I'll allow that. Whatever. What do you do to help them get back on course? No pun intended.
Well, first of all, I'd say that up and downs a part of the game of golf. You know, golf is a cyclic game, so you're going to have periods of time where you go through challenges, and then you're going to learn from these and grow from these, and become a better player. But the thing is, you've got to stay patient, and patience is such, you know, a vital skill in the game of golf. So, you know, perhaps just keep grinding, keep working at it, and, you know, soon the tide will turn. But yeah, the yips, that's like a mental kind of complex, and that usually happens in a player's short game. You'll notice that when there's a rise in emotional intensity, it causes the player to lose coordination of their fine motor skills. So they'll probably often be fine during practice or on the range, but when competition begins and the nerves increase and, you know, the emotional intensity rises, it causes mechanical problems. So occasionally, you know, some change in technique or equipment, that can help build confidence and develop better motor neural patterns. But what I would recommend from a mental perspective is, for one, focus on your good execution. Don't worry about your misses so much. You know, whatever you focus on grows. So build on your, you know, your confidence, and build up by focusing on your good executions and the shot that you do hit well. Second thing is, I'll try to relax more on the course, and not, you know, add meaning to shots. So just keep it simple, focus on the process, and don't forget the story. And the final thing I'd say is, try to make practice more challenging. There's got to be consequences to your execution, so that you're actually simulating the course environment. You know, try to make little mini challenges and competitions with friends, and that will strengthen your ability to handle stress and, you know, anxiety, so that you can perform better when it counts.
Great answer.
There's nothing like friendly competition while you're practicing. I definitely agree with that. And it's good to put yourself in those positions too. Exactly. So you admit that you guys are an online, you know, coaching clinic. How can we? Obviously, you're in Australia. How can we in the United States take advantage of what you offer?
So, as I mentioned earlier, the mental game is the element that we first identified as a major problem for today's golfers. So at our website, completeplayergolf.com, we have a mental game program, and we offer a couple of packages there with our digital program, but we also have we call it the complete program, where there's actually coaching that we have that's available, you know, by Skype or online or by the phone. So we try to actually interact with this online through those methods.
So last, maybe that's a good transition to your question that you wanted to detour from earlier.
Yes, how do you get a copy of the 5 elements of a complete player?
So on our website, completeplayergolf.com, we have a free report, and so basically that just summarizes goes into more detail about the 5 elements of the game, and there's also interactive rate your game assessment tool, so that just allows you to rate your game and see where perhaps you're deficient. But at the moment, that's our free report, and our training and program that we have recently released is our mental game, for the mental side of the game, and that's Think Well Play Great.
All right.
So you guys are all over, talking about being on the internet, you're all over Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Google+. Very well done. Who manages all that, and what do you see in terms of the next steps with where you're going to take your digital presence and with social media?
Yeah, sure. Well, social media is obviously very important to interact and, you know, to socialize with other golfers, and that's something we're really trying to work on. I've been managing a lot of that at the moment, but I recently took on a new assistant, and we're going to be working together to try to have a stronger presence and to contact more golfers and to create more material. So, you know, that really is something that we're going to focus on this year, just to connect with more and more people.
That's awesome. And I'm going to go back, before we go back to Jason, to greenskeeper.org. Johnny GK, who I was just texting, so he should stop texting me and be watching the Friday Foursome instead of bothering me while I'm trying to host the Friday Foursome.
That's your boss, man.
Well, I'm kind of his boss, if you want to look at it that way. So he wants to know, and this is a great question, who were some of your biggest mental teachers outside of the game of golf that impacted your teaching philosophy?
Well, I was the guy that grew up listening to Tony Robbins. You know, I love his psychology, and, you know, perfection and striving to grow and become more. Other influences, yeah, a lot of reading, a lot of good books out there on growth and psychology and personal development. It's probably hard to name them all at the moment, but yeah, Tony was certainly a big influence in the early days.
So, again, I'm going to interrupt before I go to Les because I can't have a Friday Foursome where I don't interrupt Les and steal his thunder. I am going to go to you next, though, Les. Now, you mentioned the word perfection when it comes to Tiger, talking about Tiger wanting to strive and reach perfection. Do you think that to a golfer, whether it's a single round of golf or for the duration of a career, obtainable? Is perfection something that a golfer can achieve?
Well, I think there's a famous book, Golf is not a game of perfection. And, we're striving for perfection, but we actually never attain it. So, as long as you're committed to becoming your best, I think that desire and that drive is so important, because that hunger to actually become your best is what actually separates a champion from just an average tour player. So I think Tiger had this hunger and this desire that was obviously very strong in his early career. And perhaps there's a bit of a question over it now. We don't know. Perhaps he has other priorities in his life, but that actual desire is what actually determines someone who's successful to someone who's just average.
One of my favorite quotes from Tiger is, "You can always become better." And I used to have a quote in my email signature that said, "I am always learning," a quote that Michelangelo said, but I've changed it to "You can always become better," because he is that. He's always trying to strive for perfection that he's
exactly.
At his best he never attained. So
that's a dangerous path, because when you're striving for perfection, you can become too technical, and that can make you regress by actually focusing on the wrong thing. So it's a delicate balance, but you obviously got to be determined to proceed and become your best.
Okay, Les, I'm going to let you ask your next question.
Yes, your program, does it target casual golfers, serious golfers, or both?
Yeah, great question, Alice. I think I'll Play Great is actually based on the mental traits of PGA Tour winners, and we created that actually with everyday golfers in mind. But the mental game is something that needs to be maintained and improved and regulated. And so tour players, played with a lot of tour players, and they're still making mental game mistakes. And the way they program themselves, the way they focus their mind is something we all really need to regularly maintain. So we actually had the everyday golfer in mind when we designed this, and we wanted to make it easy to read, learn, and apply. So it's really about mastering the information, really to help you apply it to your game so that you actually play better golf. So we used a lot of summaries, we try to use color, and we have a support program that kind of motivates, encourages, and reminds golfers of the key points.
All right. Now, Jason, you've not mentioned anything with junior golf yet, so go.
That's not true. I did. I talked about kids throwing tantrums.
Well, you did. Well, that wasn't the direction that I felt you wanted to take, as much as you were just pointing out that I've thrown a tantrum or two. So I know you got a couple of questions about junior golf.
Well, so not really junior golf, and this one came from just one of the comments that we talked about earlier, talking about trying to strive for perfection and technology versus feel and things. So, you're a coach on the mental side, and we've had several coaches from the physical side of the game. Where do you think technology plays into that physical training, and do you think that has hurt the game, or do you think that's helping the game?
Well, technology is a great benefit to the game. It's very important, and it's an essential element of the game. But the problem is that golfers are tending to focus on equipment and their swing, and they're doing this and neglecting other essential elements of the game. So, players are forgetting the fundamentals, having the right course strategy, really thinking their way around the course, the mental approach, being able to program themselves and the shot they want to accomplish, and having the right physical state, ensuring that your body is allowing you to execute your swing, having flexibility, good nutrition, good hydration, these things. So, yeah, technology is obviously a benefit, but there's a danger there if the other elements of the game are neglected.
Yeah,
Yeah. Les, you got any final questions? I cannot believe we've been talking for 25 minutes. I feel like we just got started, but we're almost out of time, and I got to get to our favorite part.
I'm ready for the lightning round.
I know you are. You know one of them that's gonna. You know one of the questions that we're gonna have, and I can tell based on where he's sitting that I know his answer. But Jason, any final questions from you?
I am good. Let's do the lightning round.
Let's do the lightning round. Okay, so we need to find a new way to like call these because they're not really rapid fire anymore. And sometimes I ask like 11 questions because I'll ask a question and then I'll have a part B to that question. But are you ready for
your favorite question needs to you need to take Tiger Woods out of the name slot and put Rory McIlroy in there.
Okay, now that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I had a good tweet the other day because I said I would rather, and this was last week when Tiger shot like 94 at TPC Scottsdale. I said I would rather watch Tiger play like he did on Friday than Rory like he does on Sunday because he always plays well on Sunday. He shot like 3 under, won the golf tournament. So I was very proud of that tweet. But I seriously would rather watch Tiger play terrible than watch Rory play well. All right, here we go.
Okay.
To each their own.
What, Jason?
I said to each their own.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. Liam, here we go. Have you ever had an ace?
Well, technically yes and no. To explain this, let me explain this. I was playing a course in France, and there was like an elevated tee with a dog leg to the right, and I nailed my drive straight through the corner, and I discovered that I hold out on the next hole. So I'm going to take that and say yes.
That might be the coolest hole-in-one ever. Like, that's fantastic, yeah. Let's just go ahead and get this one out of the way. Will Tiger break Jack's record? Why or why not?
I'd love to believe it's possible. You know, Jack won his last major at 46. So that, that means Tiger still has time. But it all depends on his health and his motivation. But I also think that the competition is a bit stronger today. So that's going to make it a bit more difficult for him to do it.
Yeah, guys like Rory.
Yeah. And Brooks Koepka, who's coming up.
God. He wins one golf tournament.
Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth.
Well, when Jordan starts winning golf tournaments, then we'll talk. Same with Ricky Fowler. Anyway, who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
I liked watching Lorena Choa. You know, I thought she was a great player to watch. She really knew how to win. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that she retired, you know, at such a young age.
Yeah, that's cool. Jesus Martinez, who used to have the quote that ended the Friday Foursome, did some work with her, and it still remains good friends with her. So I kind of miss her. I think she should come back, like do a Michael Jordan and just come back and join the tour and play some more. That would help the LPGA Tour too. They're trying to do all this stuff to promote the tour. That'd be huge.
I'm surprised he knows who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah. Today's actually the day, and I heard this on the radio on the way today to work. Today's the anniversary of when he won his first dunk contest. So, yeah. Take that.
Wow.
I know.
I'm impressed.
You should write a blog post about that one. There are a lot of options out there, but what golf ball are you currently playing?
I usually play a Titleist, Titleist NXT2S. I'm a player that doesn't like too much spin, so I find that ball gives me, you know, a good balance between the two.
No, good. I don't know if I've ever heard that answer. It's usually probably one or that. Yeah, I like that. What is your favorite golf course? Hopefully, it's the one you're playing here in a few hours.
I'd like it to be, but I'd have to say the Alistair Mackenzie design in Royal Melbourne. Beautiful course. It's immaculate.
That's a pretty good one.
So yeah, love that there. On the list, I'd love to play Bondville in the east coast of Australia. That's like our Augusta version in Australia.
That's awesome. So, beer or wine? And I know craft beer is not huge in Australia right now. It might be soon, but as of right now. But what do you prefer, beer or wine?
I'm going to say I like a beer early in the day and a glass of wine at the end.
Okay, I like that. Now, it better not be a Foster's because that's just way too
I was still going.
You should have asked him if he's a King George man or a Foster's man. That's the only two types of pubs in Australia, right?
We don't drink that beer here. That's our export beer.
So, and it's funny because it's probably half the stuff of the Foster's that we drink here is probably made here in the United States. So, there are a lot of options out there right now in the golf community. We're giving away an orange whip, but what is your favorite training aid?
Hmm.
Do you use
I
anything?
really like. I have a good putting mat at home. That's something that you can really groove your putting stroke on. And if you can hold more short putts, you're going to take strokes off your game. And the great thing about that is, you can just work on it for 5 minutes a day, and your putting will just become so much better.
Awesome. I need to make more putts. Hashtag make everything. So I have to know, because I've not been to Australia yet. We're planning on it either next year or the year after for a visit. Do people really say "good day, mate"?
Because
I hope
just for the
they do.
tourists.
Like, I hope. Okay, just all right. I'll be a tourist when I'm there.
G'day, mate. Yeah, it's country, maybe more of a country thing, but yeah, we'll say it for the tourists.
Good, I like it. And your final question of the Friday Foursome: what's next for Liam Burton? Warburton. I'm sorry. See, I knew I was going to screw up the name at some point during this hangout. I had to screw up the name.
So we have a busy year planned at Complete Play Golf. We really want to continue to focus on helping more golfers, play their best by having a complete approach to the game. And we have some add-ons to our mentor game program, Think Well, Play Great, including a pre-game audio that will help golfers to get in the right mental state before they play. So yeah, some big things in the way this year.
That's awesome. 14 was a good year. 15 is going to be even better. Jason, get back to work. I know you got stuff to do. Les, you're retired, so go lay on the couch and have your wife bring you a beer. I'm going to get back to work. And Liam, thank you so much for doing this. I know it's early, but I know you have a tee time to get to, so go play some golf. And I used to say when we ended the Friday Foursome, Jesus Martinez used to say and steal from 10 Cup, make more birdies. And then I started using it. I'm going to keep using it, but Matt Rust from Indiana, he's a good buddy of mine, and I hope he's watching because we got a lot of people watching right now. So, Matt, this one's for you, but I'm not going to end with this. And he says make less bogeys. But in honor of Tiger and his wonderful display of 11 holes at Torrey Pines, this week I'm going to end the Friday Foursome with play more holes.